Hi, Armoured Pants here, and I have another tank review for you. This, again, premium tank, the Excelsior, which is a Tier 5 heavy British tank, and is for sale in the store all the time. So we're going to have a look at the tech spec, and as always, we're going to look at blitzhanger.com, which is a great asset. And we'll have a look at the tank here. We'll see it's 2,400 gold. Now, this is a nice, well-balanced tank, I have to say. It's quite agile too for a heavy. Wouldn't quite describe it as a heavium, a cross between a heavy and a medium, but certainly a very agile heavy tank. It's good value for money. As I said, 2,400 gold, it's about 10 or 11 euros, which is not so bad at all, particularly when you compare it to some of the stuff that Wargaming have been trying to push on us over the last couple of months for 60, 70, 80 euros, which is mental stuff for a pixelated tank. Now, this tank has a gun with a low muzzle velocity. It has a 75mm gun, but it's short barreled. Therefore, even using supercharge, the muzzle velocity is not very good at all. What does this mean? Well, it means that your actual penetration, as opposed to the penetration that they show as figures, is quite low. So you'll need to have APCR uploaded. Many Tier 5 tanks, like the Churchill 3, KV1, T1 Heavy, etc., you will need APCR to pen them. That's just a fact of life, so you have to have APCR. But switch out the APCR from gold to credits, and you can afford to load them up. It's quite economical. As I said, it's quite mobile. It does almost 40 kilometers an hour in a straight line, which is very good for a heavy. It's also quite good in accelerating. So therefore it is quite an agile mobile heavy. It has decent armor profile. You will get bounces in this tank, particularly if you angle up, and you'll see in the game that I'm going to show you, you'll see that I bounce quite a few shots. You'll also see, by the way, what I'm talking about using APCR. I need that to pen the T1 Heavy and the KV1, etc. And the blue is the external module. As you can see that the tracks are protected by spaced armour quite well, so you won't blow tracks as often as you would in other tanks. So that's something to note. So you could use accelerator rather than the second repair kit, although I would prefer to use the second repair kit. That's just my preference. Front on, if it's against a Tier 4, it's very, very difficult to pen good armour profile. Against a Tier 5, it's less so, but you will still get some bounces, particularly when you angle. And against a Tier 6, if you're up tiered, you are going to be penned front on, sideways, every way. So you just need to be a bit more careful should you be up tiered. In terms of battle tactics, it can go front line. It's very, very good in a 1v1 brawl, as you will see in the game. And it is pretty, as I said, well balanced, agile, terrain friendly heavy tank. Decent rate of fire as well, under 6-second reload, which is good for a heavy with a 75mm. But you will lose some DPM because you're going to have to use APCR quite often, especially front on against big Tier 5 heavies, like for example, as I said, a KV1 or a T1 Heavy. And if you're up tiered, you will really need APCR to pen, for example, a KV1S or a 3601H or something like that. So make sure you have APCR uploaded before you go into battle. Now, looking at the pen numbers here, you can see that the pen numbers, it says 91, but in actuality, it's not going to be. In reality, you don't get that actual pen, and I found. So therefore, as I say again, please load up some APCR so you're not caught short during the game. Now let's have a look at some gameplay. I decided to push the top here, as I often do in a heavy tank, particularly if I think I can catch, for example, one or two of the heavies moving down. You see what I mean about the gun here. When you look side on, the profile of the tank is a relatively short, stubby gun. If you compare it to, let's say, the 3001H or the KV1, which has a longer barrel with better muzzle velocity, better rifling, etc., better gun handling all over. However, that said, the gun is reliable enough, and if you have APCR loaded, it won't let you down. Now I'm just to have AP loaded now because I'm waiting to see who my first target's going to be. You can see it has decent gun depression too. I can pop over here, just show my turret, and I can get level with some targets. And I decided to put one into the KV1, but it bounces, so therefore I switch up to APCR, which I'm going to need. I decide have them on again here, and I'm going to fire into the weak part of the KV-1, which is in between the turret and the hull. There's a weak part in the armour there. Try a last shot on him there, see if I can get a sneaky one in on him as he's backing off. I don't. Now I decide to push up. I'm going to take the fight to the enemy. I don't want to get caught in a crossfire, so I'm going to maintain my position here, see what shots I can get in. While I'm here though, I'm also spotting up the enemy for my teammates across the valley. Now I'm going to put some APCR rounds into the Churchill 3. As you saw, I did a review on the Churchill 3. You saw in that game I got a lot of bounces in that game. I mean, a lot of bounces, so it is a really tough competitor. So you need to really make your shot count when you're up against a competitor like this. Decide to clear the KV before going after the Churchill. Churchill is not entirely aware of me right now. He may be zoomed in. Again, we've said this before, don't go around zoomed in all the time, guys. Only zoom in when you're shooting. And gonna back off now, switch up to AP because I can pen him quite easily even with the AP. I'll clear him. So that's 3 tanks down. I'm gonna put one into the scavenger here, put one into the weak part of the bottom in between the arms, the front arms of the scavenger. Try to put another one into him here. I got caught by the T1 heavy. I thought he was looking the other way. Back up. You see the AP round will not go through the front of the T1 heavy. So I decided to switch up to APCR because I can't really get into, he's got more hit points than me now. I can't really get into a hit point trading match with him, so I really need to pen him every time. I got one free shot there because he was looking the other way. Now the scavenger behind me decides to push up on me, so I need to brawl with him now. So I put one into him, miss, I get a bounce though on him, which is great. So you saw what I mean by angling there, I got the bounce on him. And then again another damage block, another shot from him and some ram damage, and I clear him. So we've 4 tanks cleared. Now I'm going to go back onto the T1 heavy, upload the APCR again, put him into him. Okay, now he's a one shot for me. If I can get a shot on him, and I do, and I clear him, which is great. 5 tanks down. I don't know if you've noticed, but I've killed all 5, so I'm on for the Raz. So cleared that. 6 down, so I'm on to number 7 now. Will I get the last kill? Let's see. There's a brawl going over there. Our AMX against the other scavenger. Missed that shot. Could have saved the AMX. Fluffed it. Okay, now I switch up to APCR, and bam! Lovely shot right through the gap in between the mill there. Just have a look at this again. So the gun is quite accurate if you get a chance to aim properly, and nice kill there for the 7th kill. That's the Raz. Clear the whole field. That should be a mastery badge as well, because it's almost 2k damage with the Raz tier 5, plus a lot of bounces. Let's have a look. And yes, there we go, mastery badge, actually over 2k damage, almost 2.15k damage, pretty good. And you can see just how good this tank really is. If you play it right, you know, you can be somewhat aggressive, go frontline in it. You can bounce shots, and it has weird angles on it that if you move around will create right angles towards shells coming onto you that will bounce them. It is has a decent gun, nothing spectacular about it, so you will need APCR. Again, I'm repeating that, but really I don't want you to buy this tank, only have AP and get caught short. So there we go. Mastery badge, top gun, high caliber, well, as you'd expect, Resonate Heroes medal, master gunner, and sharpshooter. So pretty good game in it, and the tank will perform if you handle it right and play to its strengths, which is its armour and its good rate of fire, etc. Now, it's very good value for money, as I said already, about 10 or 11 euros, so really it's not going to break the bank. And that's what we always want to hear, isn't it? Its credit coefficient is 151%, which is above average for a premium tank. Just above average, not so much above, but it's decent enough. It will earn you good credits, so it's a good investment in that respect. It has good armour, as you saw. I bounced quite a lot of shots there, particularly from the scavenger, bounced a few from the T1 heavy as well, and from the Panzer. It has decent mobility, as I said, it's relatively agile for a heavy, which is always good, and you can surprise the enemy with it. It's also, by the way guys, an unusual tank. You don't see it so often in games, so you can surprise the enemy because they're not familiar with it. The gun is average, as I said, and the DPM is average as well, and therefore you need to have APCR to get your pen and to keep your DPM optimized. The tank is just good, well balanced, and I would definitely recommend it, but only if you have a T14 already. If you don't have a T14, they're more or less the same price, so I would get a T14 first, but if you have a T14, definitely invest in this. It's a good tank and lots of fun. Okay, thanks for watching, hope you enjoyed it. Take care, cheers Mush, see you now, bye, cheers.